So all those experts and analysts that picked the Pittsburgh Penguins to smoke the Montreal Canadiens in this series ain't looking so hot right now. Carey Price got other things to say about it, baby. Habs win 3-2 in overtime. Let's get into this review with Scotty 2 Hockey. What's up, guys? It's every Leafs fan's least favorite YouTuber, Open Ice Hits with Scotty 2 Hockey, and the Montreal Canadiens have defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins in Game 1 of the play-in round. They're up 1-0 in this best-of-5 series. 2 more and they got the series in the bag. Carey Price absolutely stole this game. The young stars shine. Nick Suzuki, Jesperi Kotkaniemi had an excellent game. There were players that did struggle, like Jonathan Drouin and Philip Deneau. I'll get into that. It was an excellent game. Montreal had a goal in the first period, a goal early in the second period. We're out to a nice lead. Pittsburgh made a nice comeback, scored 2 straight goals. It ended up going into overtime. There was a penalty shot by Drouin that was absolutely terrible. Montreal didn't score on that. It was very stressful, I'm sure, for both fan bases watching this game. But eventually, Jeff Petrie roofs a nice wrister underneath the arm of Matt Murray, and the Habs win the game 3-2. So let's get into this review. And one player who really stood out to me for the Montreal Canadiens was Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Man, did this kid look great in this game. He was fighting to get the spots in front of the net. He was getting off good shots. His skating looked excellent. He was chasing down pucks. His defense was good. This kid looks night and day better than what we've seen earlier in this season. He looks phenomenal. I think he got the message being sent down to Laval, and I don't think he's ever going to be in Laval again. This guy should be a Hab for life. I know it's only one game, but he showed in his rookie season what he's capable of as well, and I was very, very impressed with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Needless to say, I'm also very impressed with Nick Suzuki. This kid just gets better and better and better, and soon enough, he's going to be elevated into a superstar role. Everything about this kid screams superstar for me, screams super future point leader for the Montreal Canadiens, future star center for the Montreal Canadiens. Absolutely love Nick Suzuki. The young players stole the show in this game for the Montreal Canadiens, and the scoring shows that for sure. First period, 11:27 into the first period, after Pittsburgh was dominating the shot totals. I believe Montreal only had 3 shots by this point, and Pittsburgh had almost 10. Pittsburgh was controlling the pressure. They were getting the better shots. Montreal was the more physical team. They were controlling Pittsburgh's shots, so they weren't the best quality, but Carey Price did make some very nice saves in this game. But leading up to this goal, Pittsburgh didn't have any crazy shots that Price stopped. And in 11:27, at the 4th shot of the game, Jesperi Kotkaniemi scores off a nice shot from Paul Barron. That Kotkaniemi was in front of the net, and the shot came in. It hit off Kotkaniemi, I believe, his body, and as he was falling down, he also hit it with his wrist, and it went in. I don't remember if they reviewed the play or not, because I was at work watching this game simultaneously. I couldn't sit down and just watch the whole game. I was listening to it in my headphone at the same time. But I believe that they didn't review this. It just counted. So Jesperi Kotkaniemi gets the first goal. Then we get into the second period. 6:53 into the second period. The other young gun for the Montreal Canadiens, Nick Suzuki, scores an unassisted, beautiful wrist shot coming in on a 2-on-1. Suzuki makes it look like he's going to pass, but no, he decides to shoot, puts it right over the shoulder of Matt Murray. Absolutely laser beam of a shot. Beautiful goal. Nick Suzuki gets a goal in the game. It was unassisted. And then 9:55 into the second period, Pittsburgh mounts their comeback. Sidney Crosby's battling behind the net. One of the Pittsburgh players puts a shot on goal. A rebound comes off Price. It comes over to Crosby. And before any of the Habs players can get to Crosby, Crosby whips the puck over. Doesn't pass it to any Pittsburgh players. He banks it off Carey Price's skate. A very smart, better move. Price is is already in motion, so he can't stop his skate from moving, and as he's moving his skate, the puck hits it, it bounces off his skate, goes in the net. Pittsburgh gets their first goal, and Kuznetsov and Schultz had the assists on that one. And then 12:34 into the second period, Pittsburgh ties it up. A guy who I think had a lot of question marks coming into this series, because yes, he did have a very good regular season, but now that Sidney Crosby and Jake Kuznetsov's back and all the healthy players are back, where is he going to factor in? Is he going to be as much of a play as big of a role as what he did in the regular season for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Brian Rust? Well, in this game, he definitely did. He had a good game. Brian Rust scored a power play goal, 12:34 into the second period, to tie the game, assisted by Hornquist and McCann. Then we get into the third period. There were no goals. Montreal played a lot better in the third period than they did in the first and second period, in my opinion. Pittsburgh did show a nice bit of push in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Connor Sheary actually had a penalty shot. He missed the net coming in on Carey Price, so he didn't score on that penalty shot. So there was no scoring in the third period. Pittsburgh did control the play, but Montreal was very physical in that period, and they did have some good shot attempts themselves. And Carey Price made some amazing saves in this game. I cannot stress enough how much Carey Price stole this game. In the first period, Pittsburgh had 18 shots on Montreal, and Montreal only had like 5 or 6 shots in the first period. The first period, Pittsburgh absolutely dominated. If Carey Price wasn't in net, if it was a lesser goalie, they could have been up 4-0 going into the second period. So Carey Price stole the show in the second period. From then on, it was pretty even. Price and Matt Murray both played well from that point on, but in the first period, Price really shined, and at the end of the third period, he made some really nice saves as well. Because leading up to that penalty shot by Sherry had a nice breakaway. He got a clean shot off on Price. Price stopped that shot. Then a rebound came off Price, came right out to Crosby. Crosby whips it at Price. Price dives over, stops that. And then after all that happened, he stops the penalty shot as well. Well, Connor Sherry missed the net, but I'm going to count it as a save for Carey Price myself. Go Habs, go, baby. And then we get into overtime. Jonathan Drouin gets a penalty shot halfway through overtime. Drouin can put the team on his back. He can win this game for the Habs. It all depends on Drouin. And what does he do? Handles the puck so much that the puck just bounces off his stick, and it ends up looking like a pee-wee attempt in the NHL. So I don't know what Drouin was thinking there. And I'm not going to lie, Philip Deneau and Jonathan Drouin both had horrible games this game. Deneau had 6 penalty minutes. Drouin had 4 penalty minutes. And overall, they just made some bad turnovers. They didn't have finishing ability. They didn't look like they were ready to be out there. They looked, as far as the Habs goes, the whole team looked good, except for Drouin and Deneau. That's just my opinion. And then we get into the overtime, 13 minutes and 57 seconds into overtime. Brendan Gallagher puts a shot on net. The rebound comes out. Jeff Petrie gets the rebound. There's a Pittsburgh player in front of him, so Matt Murray was screened. And before Matt Murray knows it, Jeff Petrie lets the shot go. A beautiful wrist shot goes under the arm of Matt Murray, beats him clean, and the Habs win the game 3-2. Both goalies had a very good game. Carey Price had an amazing game. He had 41 shots faced. He had 39 saves and a .951 save percentage. Carey Price is probably going to put this team on his back and steal this series. The way he looked in this game, just like he did years ago when he took out Boston years ago and he took out Ottawa years ago on that great run that he had where they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, he looked absolutely phenomenal in this game. He looks like he's ready for playoff hockey. And if this is the Carey Price we're going to get, I pity the teams that face the Montreal Canadiens if Price can stay healthy, because he can drag this team out of the way. I'm not saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not overnight saying they're going to be a contender. But if that's the Carey Price that shows up every single game or 90% of the games, yeah, they are going to be a serious threat in this NHL playoffs, and that's my personal opinion. And Matt Murray also had a decent game, even though he lost the game. His numbers weren't terrible by no means. He had just over 900 save percentage, around 910. I forgot to write it down. And out of 35 shots faced, he had 32 saves, so it wasn't terrible. His season average was a .899 save percentage, so he was above his season average, but wasn't good enough to get him the win. But he did play well. I'm not going to hate on Matt Murray's game by no means. And Montreal were 0 for 2 on their power play attempts, and the Pittsburgh Penguins were 1 for 7 on their power play attempts. The shots were 35 for Montreal, 41 for Pittsburgh. Montreal was the far more physical team, coming pretty close to doubling Pittsburgh in hits. Montreal had 53 hits to Pittsburgh's 30 hits, and face-offs were pretty much 50-50. Pittsburgh won one more face-off. Montreal had 33 wins in the face-off dot. Pittsburgh had 34 wins in the face-off dot. So those are the numbers for this game. But all that really matters is who got the win. And who got the win? The Montreal Canadiens, baby. Thanks to the young guns. Thanks to Spiri Kotkaniemi scoring the first goal, Nick Suzuki scoring the second goal, and Jeff Petrie, the veteran, stepping up in overtime and getting the game winner. Couldn't have asked for a better game, and I'm so excited to see Carey Price playing like this. I really hope he keeps this up the entire playoffs. Even if the Habs don't win the playoffs, even if they do just win this playing round and screw themselves out of the first overall pick, as long as Carey Price looks good, as long as he can carry confidence into next season with the team they can put in front of him next season, which I think will be a much improved team, this guy can really take the Habs far. This guy is starving for a Stanley Cup. He's an absolute superstar goalie, and if any goalie can drag a mediocre team to a Stanley Cup, it is Carey Price, just like Patrick Waugh did for the Habs back in the day in his rookie season. If any goalie can do it for the Montreal Canadiens, it's Carey Price, and I really hope this guy gets a cup before his career is out. The years are ticking. He's getting up there. He's not old by any means, but he's probably only got 5 or 6 years left in his career to truly be an elite #1 goalie. And we want to see this man win a Stanley Cup. I was extremely impressed with Carey Price last night. Extremely impressed with Spiri Kotkaniemi. Nick Suzuki, loved what I seen from Galley. Loved what I seen from Tatar. Yes, Deneau had a rough game. Yoel Armia looked good. Heck, even like Shea Weber looked good. Ben Sherratt looked phenomenal. This team looked awesome. 4 months off definitely gave them a bit of freshness, gave them a bit of extra vigor, and I think that they can do some real damage in these playoffs. Let's hope they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's hope they win 2 more, go all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Go Habs, go. The Habs win the first game, 3-2. Sorry for rambling a bit, guys. I kind of winged this review. It's not put together as well as most of my reviews are. I didn't sit down all day to write down a ton of stats. I worked last night. I didn't get to sit down and watch the entire game from beginning to end. I will be doing that today. But I did watch most of the game, and I know who won, and I've seen all the big plays, and that's all that counts. The Habs won 3-2, beating the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're up 1-0 in the best of 5. 2 more and they win the series. This is Open Ice Hits with Scotty 2 Hockey. Let me know what you think in the comments, and of course, have a great day, folks. Over and out.